All right, what's up, Rounders? This is the Toast, live before 5 as we're now calling it, instead of the 4 o'clock Toast. I am joined today by Dave Kozlowski. Did I pronounce that right, man?
Kozlowski, yes.
Kozlowski, okay. He is with Gearhouse Brewing Company, and I'll let him tell himself all about you. As you can tell, I am doing this Toast from the brewery. We have a pretty packed pub for happy hour. A bunch of my old Merck colleagues came by to celebrate a happy hour, and we're a little bit late today, dealing with some very small but very annoying political and or borough-wide issues that I will save for a possible rant at a later Toast, because this is not about me, not about us today, but yeah, but this is about these guys over at Gearhouse. Dave, just so you and I talked a little bit about this when I asked if you wanted to do it. You kind of like raised your hand in the Brews of PA forum. What we're trying to do here is, hopefully you guys can eventually share this to your social media, and then folks who are out in Chambersburg get to know a little bit about us. But as things are opening and people are traveling, we want to send them your way as well, and make sure that they know all about you guys. So tell them about your brewery. Tell them what's going on, what you guys have, and just a little 30 seconds about Gearhouse.
Cheers, guys. My name is David. I'm the head brewer and one of the co-owners and co-founders of Gearhouse Brewing Company. We are located down in South Central PA, Chambersburg. We're about a half hour north of Hagerstown, Maryland, for anybody who's familiar with the area. We're right on 81, very easy access. We do have a full kitchen in our establishment. We have about a 2-acre property. We planted hops on the property. We recently erected a pseudo stage behind the hop yard, and we have a pizza trailer doing wood-fired pizzas and live music every Saturday, inclement weather notwithstanding. And then we have been in operation celebrating 5 years this coming December. I've been a brewer professionally for well over a decade before that, and wine before that as well. So we bring a multitude of different varieties and styles of beers at Gearhouse. We focus on IPA lagers, we make pilsners, we make Hefeweizens, we make sours and dessert beers and pastry stouts, and we're currently working on some wild fermentation cuvee style mixes as well.
That's cool. Where'd you brew before you started Gearhouse?
Previously, going backwards, I was with Trogs, their Hershey facility, when they first moved in 2013. I was there during the first upgrade in the 800-barrel fermenters that they added to the system. They've since added 8 more, and I think they have plans for 8 further more to be added. There were permits already installed for a total of 24 while I was there. Before that, I spent about 5 years in Frederick, Maryland, and I worked my way up from being a cellar rat to running the brew house on graveyard shift on a weekly basis for the last couple of years I was there.
That's pretty awesome. I one day actually hope to hire a brewer with experience. Currently, our model is we hire people that don't know how to brew. They learn how to brew, and then they go somewhere else and brew somewhere else professionally. So I'm dreaming of a day when I can hire a brewer off the street and be like, hey, just go be a production manager, man. That'd be awesome. So
we just had our first turnover in the production team earlier this year. In April, we had a part-time assistant who joined us full-time, and then we ended up hiring another full-time assistant because our previous assistant left us to go to another brewery, and we were his starting point. So I have done the same now at this point.
That's one of our first brewers. Chris Young is now the head brewer at La Cabra. He started Tin Lizard after he left us, and then joined La Cabra, and then we just had our production manager move to Iron Hill. He's the Iron Hill North Wells location. So we're slowly building. I'm sure there's other people that have helped out. We had a few interns and stuff that they wanted to start a brewery. I'm like, come work for us for a couple weeks and get a sense for it. And some of them actually open up breweries. Some of them like, I don't ever want to open a brewery. And some are like, yeah, this is really cool. I want to do this. So
smart ones know not to open a brewery.
Yeah. Anytime someone comes to say they want to open a brewery, I always ask them like, why? Like, what are you going to get out of it? What's possibly?
What makes you think you should?
Right. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So how many people are on your ownership team?
We are owned by 6 people in total. It's 3 married couples. It gets interesting sometimes, but we all have different backgrounds. So okay. I bring the brewing background, and I run the brew house. I'm the only owner on site full time. The rest of the owners all have actual full-time jobs. So they're here when they can be, or they're filling in from home as necessary. And that includes some office and HR and accounting paperwork, paying bills, keeping up to date with growth and banking and finances and everything else. And then my wife actually is a lawyer. So in the background, she's helping with all of our compliance work and everything else to make sure T's are crossed, I's are dotted where they're supposed to be.
That's really awesome. We have, I'm the only full-time owner as well. We've got Brian, who he's across the street, but he does a lot of our financial stuff. And we're always the one where he's like, "This is what it costs." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but let me explain to you what we did with all that money. We did things with that money." And then Bill does all our marketing. I don't know if you guys met Bill before, but he's usually at a lot of BOP events and that kind of thing.
We met him when we were there. I'm not sure if he was part of the team.
No, he probably wasn't, but he works down in Philly, so we don't see him that often. But yeah, so we were talking about events a little bit before we got on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the event you guys have going on this weekend?
Interestingly enough, this is good timing. We have two really big events we do generally every year. We've been trying to grow one of them to be a multiple annual event. And tomorrow is the kickoff for the first one this year, which is our food truck festival. We are bringing in between 12 and 16 outside food truck vendors. We will have them parked entirely around the property and close off a large portion of our space that will be pedestrian only. Our new wood-fired pizza trailer is also going to be here on site, up and running, beginning at 11 a.m. when we open, and we encourage all of the traffic to come and show up. Parking might be a little distressful at times, but bear with us. We're doing the best we can with what we have to work with. But we are going to have a multitude of some really fantastic varieties of food, as well as a beer tent outside. We'll be slinging some cans and hopefully pouring some draft inside, and our kitchen inside will be open as well. And that does run from about 11 to 2 to 4, depending on when the vendors run out of food.
That's cool. Do you guys have any other events planned this summer?
For the summertime, we are doing a live music concert series back in the back of the hop yard. So we have built up a stone retaining wall and elevated stone stage area, stage being loosely, it's not covered or sheltered. We have power set up, we can run out there, and that gives musicians the ability to be up and elevated and play towards the grass yard. And we're trying to do live music every single Saturday for the rest of the summer going into October. We also do live bluegrass every Thursday. And anytime we have live music out back, the pizza trailer will be up and running. So weather permitting, sometimes they may be canceled or rescheduled, but for the most part, it's going to be rain or shine.
So I guess that's the advantage of you guys having you said, what, a 2-acre property?
Yes.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have food trucks in the borough, even on private property, without permission. So I guess having your own space is a little bit easier with that.
So there's hurdles in every township. Chambersburg is one of those, similar to Philly and Pittsburgh, Allegheny County and Philly County, where we are a very strict health code, and the borough runs the inspections for the health. So every food truck will be inspected before they're allowed to open and operate to the public, and we have already informed all of them they need to be ready and on site ahead of time so that when the inspector is here, they can run through and make things as smooth as possible. Hopefully we can supply anything that maybe they forgot or left behind or missed, and then they're still able to run. But our borough is pretty stringent on it.
Have you ever been to Philly? Like, I don't know if your borough is like this, but like Philadelphia, before a beer fest, they actually inspect everybody's beer setup. Okay, yeah. In
Chambersburg, it is exactly the same way. When they come to do the kitchen inspection, they actually want to inspect all of my tap lines and make sure the keg couplers and everything are clean too.
We had there's one beer fest we did in Philly at the Kimmel Center, and there wasn't enough hand sanitizer to go around. So as the inspector was going by, we were passing the hand sanitizer behind us down to each booth to make sure that we could at least start the beer fest. So.
It's a lot of stuff to pack and go into anywhere off-site, so you never know what you're going to forget. It might be trash bags, which happened to us one year. It might be your pathogen cleanup kit if somebody gets sick or somebody cuts themselves. Like it's dumb little things, but it's encouraged, especially here in the borough. We have a lot of practice now with it, and I think most of the time we get it right these days. And usually our inspector is happy to see us.
That's cool. So you mentioned slinging some cans. Are you guys canning your own stuff? Are you doing mobile canning, or what's your?
We are running with a mobile canner right now still. We don't have a whole lot of space or storage, and we cannot permanently set up our own canning line just yet. We are looking towards that in the future. That might be the next brew house upgrade. Earlier this year, we added 2 more 15-barrel fermenters and 1 30-barrel bright tank. So that puts us at 7 15-barrel fermenters, 3 15-barrel brights, and 1 30-barrel bright on a 15-barrel brew house. The ceiling space is limited. We can't. I decided to go with a bigger brew house and just make larger batches in quantity instead of trying to double and triple brew.
Yeah, we are long overdue for an upgrade. We're in the process of upgrading our brew house, and I'm hoping it's just night and day in terms of supply. I feel like we kill ourselves just trying to do batch after batch after batch.
Yeah, especially on your smaller system. As I recall, like 5 barrels, right?
It's 7, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work, and without mechanical ability, and stirring everything by hand and graining everything in by hand, like it gets old fast.
It does. That's why I think our old brew staff averaged like 43 years old, and I think a lot of them just kind of burned out. Like we got to go to more automated setup, and now we don't have mixers, but we're gonna have a grist house and auger, and we're actually buying an old. Not old. We're buying a used brew house from Freewell. They're louder ton mash tun. So
I'll do something special and take our viewers on a little quick run around in the brew house here. How's that?
That's awesome. That way, when I visit, I'll feel like I've been there before.
So behind me is our 15-barrel mash and louder ton. The camera's reversed, so that's a little tricky. We do have a plow and motorized rakes inside. With that, we have a grist case. It's actually over my left shoulder as you're looking on the screen. This allows us to crush all of our malt a day in advance, and we do have a mill on site, so we purchase everything whole kernel, crush our grain the day before, and then we're able to start mashing it in the next morning. We do use a bulk silo for all of our bulk grain. So we carry about 25 to 40,000 pounds of bulk malt on site at any given time, and then use that for the majority of our brewing. With that, we have also our boil kettle, and then the last tank in the line that you see, the much larger one, is our HLT, and then just below that is our heat exchanger. And then now you start to see our line of fermenters. And then this is the back wall of our new 30-barrel bright tank next to the forklift there. And as we go over around to the other side of our 30-barrel bright tank here, we have a whole nother line of tanks. So we have added another fermenter on one side, and then another fermenter on this side, plus our 3 original brights that we started with. And then, as you see, we have windows that allow our customers to look into the brew house space as well and see what's going on back here. And then further than that, with some of the projects, we have our wood wall, all of our clean barrels that we're actually aging various different beers in, some for special bottling, some for special release, especially with our 5-year anniversary coming up in December.
That's awesome, man. Good use of space, bud. Good use of space.
Doing the best we can with what we have.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the brewer's mantra. Doing best we can. I used to always say we're working on it. That's what we're working on it. We'll have that soon. We're working on it. So
working on it's usually a good answer. Adapt and overcome is my general answer. There's a solution, you'll find it.
Absolutely. So what are you drinking there?
This is my assistant brewer's recipe, Ninja Boots. This is designed to be a hazy style IPA, but we make pretty clean beer, so it's more of a chill haze appearance. It's not super, and definitely not chunky. Only about 20 actual IBUs, but a lot of hop content. So we're running like 4 pounds per barrel in this, and it's Mosaic, Idaho 7, and Dick Secret predominantly.
Yeah, we're around 4 barrels for this. This is Classic Girl. This is a double IPA though. This is Ken Orner. He just left us to go to Iron Hill. This is his recipe. It's Galaxy and Citra. So
okay.
If there's one thing about this pandemic, it's that I can now get Galaxy hops at a reasonable price. That's definitely one outgrowth that I've really enjoyed about this pandemic.
It's been a little tight for us here and there, but we have tried to roll with some creative punches and adapting our brew schedule and production schedules a little bit. So we have, with the added capacity now, we have a little bit of wiggle room. We can throw out maybe a half batch that might be keg only once in a while, or we can do some R&D stuff once again. We side stream some wort into a 14-gallon Blickman fermenter, and then we get to play with different ingredients like that. So we have a sour IPA conditioning right now. We need to keg tomorrow and get it carbonated so we can go on draft soon.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you want to share with our folks? Anything else you want to tell them about Gearhouse?
If you have not been to Gearhouse, I'd like to consider us a diamond in the rough. We're difficult to get to, but it's not terribly difficult. It's just distance. We do have some really cool space here in town. The history of Chambersburg is rather interesting. We're next door to Gettysburg. They're only about 40 minutes due east of us directly. We're about a half hour north of the Maryland, if that. And we have a full kitchen. We've got a lot of outdoor space. If it's good weather, guarantee you this place is going to be busy. And if you've not been here before, we strongly encourage you to come check us out. If you are interested in just a beer, we do have 2 farmers market stands open. We have one at West Shore Farmers Market in Lemoyne, and then the new Columbia Market House in Columbia, Pennsylvania. We also now have a new kickstand number 2 open. And word is Gettysburg is working on a new location for their indoor farmers market, and we were signed up to be a vendor there as well. So once they have locked in that location and figured out all of that paperwork, expect to see another one crop up there too.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me this time, Dave. Let's give a little cheers here.
Cheers.
Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. It's nice to hear someone else besides myself, and look forward to talking to you guys later this